Welcome to Washington Football Week with your host, one half of that dynamic duo, Sean Spencer, and South Carolina's finest, Will Craven.
Don't play us if you're undefeated.
Where we celebrate past success while looking to a bright future. There's a youth movement in Washington, and they're ready to take the reins. Led by firefighters.
Play aggressive.
It's a new day. New dawn. No longer the laughing stock. It's time to take them.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And you know what day it is, ladies and gentlemen. Nope, not Wednesday.
Nope.
It's Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. We're here early. I'm here with my guy, South Carolina's finest, Will Kramer. What up, Will?
Well, I appreciate you going a day early. I can tell you, having to pack to travel with kids, absolute worst. The people that I see on Instagram that travel all over the place with their kids, I have to wonder, why do you do this? How do you do this? Because this is not fun.
Oh, I do not envy you, man. That's but
The
it's good.
mental energy being spent to catch everything, to not forget anything.
Yes. And there's always something that it's like, oh, I forgot
Mhm.
that. It's like, oh my goodness, here
Yep.
we go. But you're coming home.
Mm-hmm.
Come
Come
on
up
now.
for a few days. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'll hit you up when I get in.
Absolutely. And it's a homecoming here, and it's a homecoming at Northwest Stadium, because
Yes.
we're just partying these days, Will. We're the cream of the crop. I
Yeah.
mean, we're that pretty girl at the ball right now, Will.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's talking about us, man. What's going on?
It's unusual territory. You're right. Everybody loves us. The media is going crazy over JD5 and this Commander's offense. Just got a smile from Sean. You froze. There you go.
There we go. We're back. Yeah.
Yeah, you're back.
Too much excitement. I can't handle all of this excitement. It's
Right.
going crazy. But yeah, no, like you're saying, man. I mean, JD5, Jaden Daniels is getting all of the attention. Everybody, his name's on everybody's lips. They're all talking about him, and rightfully so. I mean, the guy is, been picture perfect. I mean, for a rookie coming in like this, how many rookies do we know that have had? None. That have had the type of numbers that he's had, the completion percentage, and just the impact. I mean, over 1,000 yards passing and 250 yards on the ground. Nobody else has done that. And I mean, that's just him. The whole team around him is really. It scares me, Will. I was talking to Jack yesterday. It scares me to be this excited, but I feel good, man.
Well, I'm glad you spoke with Jack, because he's been all excited these last couple of weeks. He
Right.
calls me on a Sunday. He calls me on a Monday. He wants to talk. And for a while, normally this time, he's all doom and gloom and everything.
Right.
He's been jacked up about things. So I don't know if we've ever seen a rookie come into the league and instantly click like this as a rookie quarterback, for one. I don't think there's ever been a rookie. Purdy did really well later in the season, but he's come out there, like you said, he's been darn near perfect out there. And he's he's got players believing in him, not only in DC, there's players outside of the building that are just like, this dude's legit. They say game recognizes game, and it's like, it's just so unusual territory for our team to be spoken so highly by everybody.
Right. I mean, it just seems like part of the course with everything. The owner is a nice personal guy. The coach is great. Cliff is great. And now you have this quarterback in JD5. It was just like you said. Everybody is saying nice things. I mean, people that don't even like football are like, that's just a good guy. He's a nice guy. And you mean he's so humble, always thanking God and everything. And players are players in NFL. I know they've been coached up, so you don't know how much of that is truly him or him just saying all of the right things. But at the same time, I mean, it's just every step he's made is great, and especially in comparison, not like we would compare, but the quarterback on the other side has a lot of negative on that. And it's just good that there is no scandal. There is no issue. It's just beautiful.
We're not the New York Jets right now.
Salah, defense, come on over, man.
I know. We got a spot for you.
Come on, man. You want a good culture? Come on over here, man. Look, ladies and gentlemen, Washington dismantled the Cleveland Browns 34-13. Will, I was talking to you throughout the game, and I, on paper, in certain ways, and the way that the Browns have been playing, this shouldn't have been a shock to us. We've been playing very well. We had a lot of momentum coming into this game. They are on the downswing. So this shouldn't have been a shock. But knowing that these are the type of games that we somewhat, fall apart or don't do those things, we ran away with this thing, man. And I hit you guys up, and there was times because I was helping people move, and I would just and I had to sit down one time because I was like, I'm getting dizzy. Like the excitement of this is too much for me. And it's like my mind is trying to. Okay, I'm not going to be excited. I'm going to sit very humble. And then it's the kid saying, no, we're winning. We're so great. This is what I wanted. So, Will, make it make sense, man. What is happening?
Dude, I meant to say something on Sunday to tell you, hey, man, we're 40 years old. We can't jump off the couch like that anymore. You lose your equilibrium immediately. You see his arms immediately. Oh,
right. It was like, oh, wait a minute. Time out.
Yep. But you know what? This game on Sunday was the most fun I've seen players and fans have in a regular season day game at FedEx since 2005 when we played the 49ers with Joe Gibbs and we beat the pants out of them 52-17, I think it was. Yes. Clinton Portis did his cartwheel into the end zone after scoring. Like that was you haven't. So 2005, it's been almost 20 years since FedEx has had a game like that where like the home team is so dominant that the fans can be doing the wave. They can be enjoying themselves. Things are clicking. It was just a whole lot of fun to see. And, it's exactly what this ownership has said, man. If we can just get some wins going, we can get these fans to come back. It's starting to snowball a little bit. People are getting it. They're noticing because they always said this about the Joe Gibbs Redskins. The most popular man in DC is the Redskins quarterback when they're winning. And that's exactly what's happening right now.
Yes, sir. Look how they vaulted up Mark Rippon. Doug Williams, my guy, got in there. And, Joe Theismann, I mean, he was beloved. He could have ran for Congress, when his days were at the height of his time in 83 and 84. But honestly, man, and to that point, it's just a lot of people, and I've talked to a lot of fans on both sides, and, other teams are saying, oh, well, look at their records. They aren't really that good. And I can argue that these are better teams than they are. But even still, Will, there have been times over the last couple years when we've been decent. And there's been games where we should have wiped the floor with them. And we barely get by or we lose or something. These last couple games, the Arizona game, this one, we've kind of just elevated. And now it's kind of like, this is what we're supposed to do, but this is kind of impressive. You're sitting back like, wait a minute, they are kind of putting it together. And so that's where I want to kind of squash all that, the side noise where it's like, oh yeah, these teams are terrible. These teams but we also were shutting things down in a number of areas where you start to see some of these guys in the secondary because of the leadership and the play at linebacker. These guys in the secondary, they're starting to get a little more confident and make a lot more moves in there. And it's kind of like in this game, you kind of saw guys punching at the ball, kind of just jumping up. Frankie Louvu in that first 4th down, just kind of rushing up there and shutting it down. Like that energy from the defense, it's kind of like, woo, we were building something.
Absolutely. Well, and it is okay. It is correct and factual to say, well, you're not really beating anybody that's really good. That's right. But like you're saying, in years past, we would win this game 20-16 and stop them on the last drive when they need a touchdown. Right. Now we're blowing them out. We're doing what good teams do against bad opponents. Yep. You're putting them away early. I mean, we had our backup quarterback in for the 4th quarter.
When's the last time that happened?
Right. That's video game stuff. These last 2 games are video game numbers that we're putting up here. So yeah, it's just a completely different type of games that we've ever seen happening, But I will say this, it also wasn't perfect, yes. But it was good. I thought it was really good early on. We talked about Cleveland has pieces that could give us some problems. And at times on defense, they were doing that. And I think this was good. I mean, JD5 threw a not good interception where he got fooled. Luke McCaffrey was saying in the first quarter, on an interview, he said, in the first quarter, they ran a lot of man against us, and we were thinking you'd be more zone. And so we had to adjust to what we were going to do. And eventually, like he said, if they go man, that gives you a chance on like broken plays for Terry to get his 60-yard catch, so you have the opportunity for big plays. And the speculation John Kine was saying on that interception was JD5, he thought it was going to be man. So he had a predetermined read. They went into zone. He threw it where he shouldn't. That's a good learning opportunity because on the backside, Terry ran a slant and was open. But he is just in his mind, he's like, man coverage, I'm going right here. So it's like, it was okay that in the first quarter, we struggled at times because they're just going to learn from this. And then we had the ability to string things together and then 24-3 at halftime and game's over.
Oh yeah. And you can see they were definitely trying to get JD5 to run. And Greg Olsen was saying they were trying to make more of a running back. So even on those read options, they were forcing him to kind of get out there and then, close it down on him. And look, we got to be honest. Yeah, it was a bad interception, but we got to give some shout out to JOK. Yes. He was the one who intercepted, but he made a great catch where he kind of dove down and brought it back to him. It wasn't. It was a whole situation, but it was a good learning experience. Mm-hmm. And to your point, we come right back down and we get it again. So look, let's go right into that. The offense in this game. Let's look into our positives, our negatives. I mean, honestly, even the negatives early on, and I'll start. They did kind of have an answer to a lot of things. We were able to run and get it down, but once you saw we got into the red zone, they, anything we tried, not many design runs, but if we did hit it, they stretched it out and you saw the speed that they had. I mean, this is a great defense. And I did think that was interesting that they were really trying to fool him. I think in like the first 2 or 3 drives, they had like 3 or 4 negative plays and we had only had, something like 6 in the first 4 games. You know what I mean? Like they really kind of sped things up. And I mean, that's kudos to Jim Schwartz. I mean, what kind of defenses he brings to the table. So honestly, I thought what I saw there that was somewhat negative on him and I'm getting frustrated. And it's like, okay, that, first punt and then, you get a field goal, touchdown, whatever. It was still learning experience because you see he's understanding and seeing. You mentioned that play where hits it right over the top. It's because he extended, but they also had run a blitz and there was a free rusher right in there. So then he had to break out and keep his eyes downfield. I love that early test. They weren't that good. There was no support for them on the offense, but that defense early on was playing good, like what you were saying. And I loved that he kind of had struggled and went through some of that, but still kept his mind. Let's build up. Let's go. What do you think?
Yeah, it didn't affect him at all. He was able to have some struggles out there, some looks that, were confusing him. And fortunately it happened against a team that had no offense, so they weren't going to be scoring points. And it gave us a chance to kind of look at the tape, look at the pictures, and figure some things out. And they did a real good job of getting some adjustments. The only negative that I could have is while we accumulated a lot of yards running, some of those came on big runs. Like Eckler had 67 yards rushing, which is awesome out of 6 carries, but one of them was a 50-yarder. So 5 carries for 17 yards.
Right.
The rest of it, Brian Robinson dealing with a little bit of a bum knee, 7 carries for 18 yards. That's not good. But he had 2 touchdowns, so that's impactful. And my fantasy team, loved that. So that part was good. So my negatives are so short. On when it comes to offense, just because they were just kind of rolling. Besides the first quarter of having some confusion, after that they started rolling again.
Yeah, and that was something that I really liked. You saw play by play and then series by series the adjustments that were happening, and you saw things start to happen where it's like, oh, okay, moving forward. One of the things that I really thought was key about this team is the hustle. We saw you talk about the 157-yard or whatever yard play by Austin Eckler, rushes all the way down the field and then gets stripped down the field. If you look at the replay, I think you were the one who sent the little Twitter feed where they showed the play. Zacchaeus, who had to run like a jet sweep off to the other side, comes and continues down on the play. And he's the one who ends up getting that fumble to keep the series going. It was little plays like that where it's the attention to detail. You're starting to see players that are more involved in each individual play. Our wide receivers are – I knew Terry was a good blocker, but our wide receivers are tough. And you kind of understand, okay, maybe this is why they got Jahan out. There's a certain mentality. And we know Adam Peters being from San Fran, we know how those San Francisco wide receivers are Debos, pun intended, when blocking. So these things are key. These are the little things, Will. These are the little attention to details where we're playing a little bit different, where it might look like it was a struggle. And this is why I segue the negative into the positive. This now looks like, no, this is just building blocks. This is little lessons we learn that later on down the line, we'll be able to do it. Or even this week, if we struggle against Baltimore early, we'll have that resilience to keep going. So, I'm very encouraged by that.
Yeah, effort is exactly what I'm seeing from this team. That effort is exactly what Dan Quinn said they were going to bring out there. They were going to be tenacious and they were going to bring effort. And you're seeing that. And, as Washington fans, there were times with the Redskins when things are going well and we're driving towards the playoffs where you would get a lot of effort from these guys, from the players. Mm-hmm. And then the very next season, when things start going south, they were making business decisions out there a lot.
Oh yeah.
And what you're seeing from these guys is they're going full tilt every single play. That play by Zacchaeus, he was the decoy. Yeah. And then the play, he was not part of the play. What pro player would follow the ball like that? Would sprint down the field. And some of the runs by Brian Robinson, the touchdown run he had, Luke McCaffrey stayed on his guy, blocking and blocking and blocking and blocking and blocking and blocking. Yes. And that allowed him to score. Because Brian Robinson got tripped up in the beginning. He shed the tackle, and McCaffrey didn't stop blocking. It wasn't his initial 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. He did his part. He stayed on the guy. There's a want and a will out of these guys out there. I always say when it comes to pro players, like the part you never really know is motivation on a team, on a game, on a team, on a season. Will. And it's like, and what we are seeing is these guys care and they're going to bust their tail every single time.
Oh yeah. And that's what's encouraging. That's what's exciting to see. So what are some more of your positives, man?
So the positive was, I touched a little bit on it, but the run game, we still had close to almost 175 yards. I should back up. This is your segment. I'm not going to take the run game. Let me talk about the receivers. I'm mistaken here. So once again, we had 7 different pass catchers. We have a wide open offense right now where, the thing that I worry about is at some point there's going to be film out there. They're going to make adjustments to what JD5 is doing. But we don't have, besides trying to, Terry, everyone knows is our best player. It's just a whole bunch of receivers out there. So you don't really know where the ball's going to go because you're not scared of a De'Ami Brown that you need to put a roll of safety on top of him. You're not scared of a Zacchaeus underneath or Luke McCaffrey or Zach Ertz. So you don't know where the ball's going. So the fact that we have 7 different pass catchers, I think is really helpful for our offense. Terry had another 100 yards over, and plus that big 66-yarder. That was just crazy. That's the play, like you said, you jumped up out of your seat. That was the type of play when that got made. I was like, oh, that's the stuff I normally see from other teams. Like Aaron Rodgers does this. Right. This is stuff Michael Vick would do. I was like, oh, that's our guys doing this.
That's us. Let's go.
Yeah. So that's what I love the fact that our offense is unpredictable right now with who the ball is going to.
Yeah. No, exactly. And that's something that's exciting. And you spoke to it. Thank you for bringing it to me. The running backs got to talk about his backs. I love, and I'm going to speak about our running game, over 200 yards, 30 carries again, even as a collective. That's great for me because now we're keeping everybody fresh. Everybody's getting numbers. But what these running backs are able to do in the pass game, Eckler getting his little piece, and he was the only one that really got it there, but that threat that we're able to get those guys to the side. But the fact that we are still emphasizing the run, we're still focusing a lot on it. And first and foremost, we wanted to see what was going to happen with Eckler coming back from the concussion. He looked the same. He looked he had some in the return game, obviously had some receptions and whatnot, but for me, I'm really appreciating what he's bringing to the table, even though, and like you say, Brian Robinson only had the little bit of yards and 2 touchdowns. It's just the collective, the coming together, and they're using this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy, and then JD5 is doing what he does. And even his runs he had a couple design, but most of his yards were from, scrambling out of the pocket and then taking it downfield. And that's something that he's not doing it because he wants to necessarily, because he's still looking downfield to pass, but he's still rushing it on it just because. My back. Okay. My back.
You're good.
Yeah. So, the run game is being able to control the clock. Now, all of a sudden, we're leading in the time of possession, getting these first downs, and it's all a collective. And, it's complementary. I always talk about complementary football. It's complementary offense. JD5 is able to get out of the pocket and everything because there is that threat of the run. And, because JD5 is just amazing. He has eyes on everything. But the fact that we can get off that play action and then hold that linebacker and hold that defense a little bit and then still have that threat out there, dude, I'm trying to keep it chill right here. It's encouraging. I'm liking what I'm seeing, man.
Right. Well, let's stay on JD5 right there. Listen, I had to stop the game at one point, and Trisha came into the room, and I was like, "You just got to watch this play right here." And it was the 30-yard run that he had. And honestly, I told her, I go, "This guy is like cheat mode." It seems like it's just not fair for the defense at times. That play where JOK came running in. He had a beat on him. He juked him, and the entire field was open for 30 yards for him to run down to the 5. It's like there's a couple times where our offensive line probably got beat. 28 out of the 32 quarterbacks in the NFL would have been sacked in that play. And he just needs a little bit of space. And he ran right up the gut and to the left and took off, and he's off for another 10, 15 yards. It's not fair to the defense at times. That's where it's like video game mode at times. That's why I was just watching a couple of those plays, and it's like, what? This guy's ours? This guy, he's unstoppable at times. And it's like the defense can play as good as they can. He can still get yardage and stuff. So it's fun to watch him play. And, the fact that he called that shot to De'Ami, that after that run, he went to Cliff and said he noticed something. He was like, dial one up deep. And he was like, and so Cliff listened to his his quarterback. He listened to his players and made some adjustments. That's huge. And so that's the type of stuff that's just a whole lot of fun to watch. And it's just, I'd love to see how long we can sustain this.
Yes. And that's something that I like. And to your point about Cliff, I love that they're running this up-tempo offense. We've always talked about that no huddle and how that can keep that defense off guard, especially when Ab was talking about it last week. When you're running the no huddle and you already have that play set, defense can't then switch in and out. So that's huge for us. But by us doing that, one of the things that I think Greg Olson was pointing out is that there's the variations in that no huddle, where sometimes you're running down no huddle and sometimes you're coming up to the line and just bluffing it and then waiting the play clock. You know what I mean? So honestly, man, it's beautiful. Let's go ahead and move on to that defense, man. Mm-hmm. Hey, we came in with kind of negative expectations. We were near the worst in the league, but you and I have talked about this. I don't know that I really had any fear of Deshaun Watson. The Houston Deshaun Watson, yes, maybe. Mm-hmm. This guy, and they didn't have Chubb. I know they had all those wide receivers, but I was kind of like, prove it to me. You know what I mean? And I saw nothing, and we dominated on it. Like, Will, talk to me about that, because people will say, oh, they suck, they're this, they're that, but he didn't help himself. We had a great game, but he didn't help himself at all.
No. I mean, we're sitting here talking, going, what has happened to this guy? I mean, being down here in Columbia, South Carolina, people didn't like him at Clemson, but they respected him. They respected how he played. And then he came into Houston and took the league on fire, kind of the way just JD5's doing. And he was just such a fun quarterback to watch play, to where I presented, remember, like one of the first early shows of that we did with this, I was like, would you give up 2 first-round picks if you're in the divisional playoffs 2 years in a row? Kind of talk about, well, maybe we should, pay everything for Deshaun Watson. It would, thank goodness that didn't happen, because he has just never been the same since he got suspended and then sent to Cleveland. And it's not like he doesn't have the weapons, there to do something. Right. There's got to be something, there's got to be a disconnect with the head coach. I do respect Stefanski as an offensive mind. I think he knows what he's doing. He showed it in Minnesota, but that doesn't mean this isn't the quarterback for him. Right. This may not be, he may know what he's doing, but if this guy can't match what he wants to do, I mean, it's not working in Cleveland right now. No. And that's it. That's the frustrating part. And then you also have Nick Chubb being out. You have those 3 wide receivers out there, Elijah Moore, Amari Cooper, and Jerry Jeudy, and it's wasted talent. I mean, it wasn't like there wasn't people open. It wasn't like there wasn't situations where things could have worked for them. And even when you look at Stefanski and the team last year, Flacco was the one who led them to the playoffs. You know what I mean? It wasn't even Watson in the ballgame. So with that being said, yeah, they didn't help themselves. But even still, man, everybody got to eat. I mean, I remember one of the other plays where I had to sit down, and because I almost lost my breath, was when our D-line was so massive and destructive that we just engulfed him and pushed his guys into his lap, and they sacked him. Yes. Their linemen sacked him. Yes. And that's when I just losing my mind, because this isn't like us. This isn't what we do. But both the guys we talked about, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, we wanted them to play big. But then you had Dorrance Armstrong getting in there and knocking them down. You had Dante Fowler Jr. in there. Everybody was getting it. And we were overpowering these guys, Will. Mm-hmm. So talk to me about this, man. It was amazing. Yeah. Where's Jared at? That's what I want to know. Where's Jared at? Because let's see. Dorrance Armstrong had 1 sack. I actually thought he was involved in more sacks, but stat-wise, they only gave him credit for 1. Right. Dante Fowler had 1. So he kept asking us on week 1, where are those ex-Cowboys? Where are they doing? Mm-hmm. Armstrong has had back-to-back really good games.
Let's go.
Putting some pass rush on. Frankie Louvu. We've been asking. He was the guy we were kind of most excited about going into the season on defense, with the additions they made. And he kind of started a little slow in that first week or two. Boy, has he come on these last couple. And today, like Sunday, was by far his best game. 7 tackles, 2.5 sacks, a fumbled recovery. He's an emotional leader out there. You know, they talk about he's the wild one hyping everybody up. And Wagner's the one being like, shut up, you stand over there, you know, to like the other guys and keeping like the yin to the yang out there on defense. And like that play you talked about, those two guys, they ran up and they pushed the defenders out the way they pushed the running back who was trying to block right into the Sean, and he just fell over. Like, I mean, they bitched him so bad on that play.
Yeah,
I don't know how else to say it. I just laughed while I was sitting there. You know, one, because I think the score was, you know, out of hand at that point, but I just laughed at that play. I was like, they just pushed that dude straight back into his quarterback for the sack.
That was a time where I was like, okay, this is they're the JV. You know what I mean? Yes. We're the varsity, or we're playing like that. And I mean, we talk about our guys being together. One of my favorite parts of the game, you know, early on in the game, Deshaun Watson's running out, scrambles out on the 3rd down, runs over to the sideline, and you see Samerstill come, and Watson's still in bounds, and Samerstill gives him a little chuck, you know, and then Watson gets up and pushes him. You see the entire defense just a golf around that and get on Watson and kind of push the little guy back. That's the rookie. And that act right there, they're showing that they respect what's happening. They respected the rookie went out there and did it. He said, you playing against us, you're going to feel the pain. And and it was beautiful. But even to that point, at that point, I think it was 0-4 3rd down. They only had 1 3rd down conversion. 3rd down conversion. Thank you. Out of 13. You know what I mean? That's dominant. Yeah. You know, now again, they didn't help themselves. There was a number of passes that were wide open that were either missed or dropped. There was a touchdown or 2 that was dropped. So they didn't help him. But we definitely didn't do anything to help them. And that's not normally like us. Normally, we'll give up a penalty or we'll give up something like that. But I think the time when I knew the game was over, right after halftime, we got the ball. We're driving the first play. We're running with Terry. We're running with the reverse or whatever. And the ball gets popped out. And they get it. They drive right down the field. And they're right at the goal line. And we shut them down. And not only shut them down, but I mean push them back. Push them back with sacks and tackles for loss. And just – and force them to kick field goal. That's when I knew this game is over. They can't even score. We spotted them that, and they can't even score. And we drove down, and we did what we had to do, man. The way they played in this game, bring them on. And because we have always said this is the one part. We see the offense moving. We see the special teams making noise. This is the part we need our defense to play with 2 linebackers – 2 linebackers on the team. Look what we can do, Will. This is a new damn team, man. Right.
The defense has gotten better through this first part of the season. And, you know, Dan Quinn said it at one point. He was like, these guys are closer than they realize to getting it. And, you know, Cleveland is not a good team. This is not a good offense. So we can't sit here and say, you know, at one point, let's not forget, we started off 5-2 in 2008, 2009, everyone was horny for Zorny that year, you know, and we ended up going 7-9. So that I can't take I didn't trademark that. That was the junkie. So I must say that. But we are improving out there. Our secondary is starting to make more plays. Credit goes out to the guy you talked about earlier who popped Watson. Mike Samerstill has transitioned to outside linebacker. And he's getting better as he's getting more chances. You know, he's still a liability because of his size out there, you know, when we have to go up against someone like A.J. Brown or CeeDee Lamb, but he's doing a whole lot better than some of the other guys we're doing out there. You know, St. Juice is being that solid corner we've always seen that he could be out there. Not spectacular, but solid. The guy who comes in on nickel, Noah Igbenogany.
There we go. Igbenogany.
He's playing well. I mean, he played the 3rd most snaps among all defensive backs, so they're getting him involved in the rotation.
He's the only one that was playing well all throughout. Like we've always heard his name, even in the Tampa's game.
He was one of those under realized signings that they brought in, and that's stepping up, kind of like a Zacchaeus, that under the radar player that they brought in, and you're starting to hear Jeremy Chin's name a little bit more. I hadn't heard him for the first couple games, and I was really excited about him. And then my guy, he dropped a pick, but Quan's all over the place. So the secondary is starting to play a lot better, and that was what we were concerned about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What's going on? Ab was on Facebook saying what's going on.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. So, no, yeah, to your point, it was a good look. It was a good look. We're playing together. To your point about Wagner kind of putting everybody in their spot, we just seem like we're playing connected. Yeah. They weren't now, and obviously Chubb is not in, so they had Ford in there. Even still, even with all that stuff, I truly believe what we displayed in this game is something that's going to benefit us down the line. Will, let's go into. Do you have anything else? Any? Because there's no negatives.
No, no negatives on defense.
Yeah, it's like I'm good this week. That's a positive thing. I like that. Let's go into our special teams. Our punter, Tress Way, back in action. Jeez. Let's go, baby. Almost 200. Almost a 200-yard game. What? Oh man, this is a low for him, man. I got to grade him still a B because he did amazing. 4 punts. He had a 48-yard average. 1 in the 20. I expect more from him, but still love my guy Tress. Glad my quarterback though gained him.
Yes,
that's so it's a new dawn, it's a new day. But hey, Austin Siebert doing what he does. Olamide Zacchaeus. Will, we know Austin Eckler's got some snaps. When this guy gets there, I'm not going to go as far as Desmond Hester. I'm not even going to go as far as Brian Mitchell, but it gives you that kind of feeling like he could break one. Like when he caught it and then there was 2 guys coming down and he kind of jumped through that hole and then he had another set and he kind of did a little juke and he picked the wrong way. He went right and he should have gone left. You kind of sit there and you're like, this special team is becoming a viable part of this team. Like it already has been with Tress, but the kicker now is good and the return game is good. It's helping the field position. Talk to me. What do you think about the special teams? Let me put that up.
Yeah, well, I got to give myself praise here. For the past 2 off seasons, I've been saying, I like this guy, the slot receiver from Atlanta named Zacchaeus. He played in Virginia. I've liked this guy for a while because he's shifty out there. He's not big, but he's quick.
Yes.
And that's in punt return. Sometimes that's all you need just to get a couple moves, some space, and go with it. Kind of like what Jamison Crowder does a little bit. It has been, he's been a pleasant surprise back there a little bit. Look at our punt coverage, our kickoff coverage. We've got Jeremy Reeves and the guy they signed, Nick Delore, and those 2 guys run down the field like madmen. And it's one of those 2 making the tackle. And if it's not one of those 2, it's your guy McNichols right behind them, making the play. So again, we've got guys who give a darn.
Yes.
On all phases out there. And, special teams sometimes is all about effort, and these guys are giving their effort. They know their role and they recognize how when we make this play, that team, the defense feeds. When we hit this guy hard, everything just is kind of snowballing in our way right now.
Complementary football, man. Complementary football. The offense helping the defense helping the special teams, and special teams helping off it, the whole thing. It's like we're working together, and it feels great about it. I got to shout out my guy, Austin Siebert. I know he only had a long of 30 this week, but we're still doing good things. Still putting them through the uprights. I'm telling you, it's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. All right. So, hey, look, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to move on. We have a special guest coming on. We're going to get a quick little breather, and then we're going to hit you back with the host of Big Nate Sports Talk. Here we go. Yeah, buddy. So hit up my guy, Anton Benton. He's on Facebook. He's on Instagram. That's Awesome Artisans, awesome_artisans. Definitely get in touch with him. He'll travel and he does great work. Yo, without further ado, we need to bring in our guy and host of Bro Crew Sports Talk, Nathan Snell. What up, Nate?
Bro Crew Sports Talk.
I mean.
What?
I got them all running in my head at the same time.
Sean's been doing multiple pods per day, so we got to give him a little bit of grace.
Absolutely.
I didn't even hear it. Big Nate Sports Talk. What's up, Nate? My bad,
What's
man.
going on? What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
We're good. We're good. I'm glad we've gotten to this week that you can come join us. We haven't
Absolutely.
talked to you in a while.
Yes. It's good to see you guys. I've been watching you guys in the comments. You guys have been doing y'all thing so far this season. You guys it's been more energetic. Yes, as a team. Now, I'm saying because, the atmosphere, with both teams winning, and especially this year, it's really good to see winning football in Washington. So it's good to see that.
Nice. Yeah, we appreciate that.
Absolutely. So look, Nate, we're coming to see you. We're excited. You guys are doing very well. We are doing very well. There's a lot of excitement in the DMV for both teams. Both of us got the W over the Bengals. One of us did it
pretty easy.
A little better.
Yeah.
They had to come back on us. I mean, we don't know about y'all, but But look, let's go into it. Let's preview this game. Tell us about your guys briefly, quickly. Tell us about your team and your this season and coming into this game.
Yeah, so the 2024 Baltimore Ravens through the first 5 weeks have been something very interesting. From the first 2 weeks, it was looking very suspect in terms of offensive identity. There's where for your Will Kramer.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
My biggest concern coming into the season, I don't think we really filled in certain areas that we needed, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I thought we took a big hit. I still think we're going to regret letting Patrick Queen walk. Replacing Jadeveon Clowney's sack production was a big one for me.
Okay.
The acquisition of Derrick Henry to me was not a concern. I knew he was going to come in here and dominate and do his thing. Offensive line took a hit. So that was very concerning. But in the first week showed that. But I'm really proud of the last 2 weeks, seeing this team starting to find its rhythm. I still don't think we really have our offensive identity packed down all the way. I say that because there are going to be games, respectfully, where Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews and Rashard Bateman are not getting over 100 yards of receiving. There's going to be games where we're just running the ball, depending on how defenses match up against us. So, defensively, I'm Zach Orr. I'm still out on him. I need to see how he looks halfway through the season before I really kind of give my verdict on him. I'm not calling for a job. I just not what I'm seeing it's kind of been a mix and match results. I know we're still ranked in the number one rushing defense. We're 19th against the pass. So,
okay.
But I mean, overall, if I have to give the Ravens a grade, it's a B+. I think that's fair.
Oh yeah.
So isn't this kind of like the Ravens MO, where in the beginning of the season you're kind of you're always feeling your team out, and then by October, end of October, November, they start to really put things together and go for that run to make them I feel like, it's been so many years that Harbaugh's been there, so they all run together for me. But I feel like this is almost per the course, where they have some weeks where they struggle and lose to who they shouldn't lose to and stuff. But then they eventually, midway through the season, just kind of put the pieces come together and they start their run.
No, I'm going to disagree with that, because this was the first time since 2015 we started 0-2. So sure. I really think it's also some of it's been, I think Harbaugh, I put the finger because he is the head coach. I think he's tried to oversimplify too many mistakes and has tried to. I don't think he really knew. I don't think he really had all the troops in place. Or I should say in check. Yes, like last year, there's a statistic when we ran the ball like 20 or more times, we were like 10-1. So sometimes I just think it's honestly and truthfully how we're prepared, game in and game out. So I mean, the first 2 weeks, we lost by a toe, and then then we had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, and we go away from what completely works. So I just think the last couple years it's more. Excuse me. I think it's more on coaching, but also too like this year's been a little bit more of like, okay, you just kind of. I think losing to Dallas. Well, excuse me. Well, I really should kind of say losing to Dallas because we did blow a 22-point lead. I thought the win against Dallas, I think, kind of really woke this Ravens team up, and I'm glad to see where it is currently. So.
Okay.
All right. I love it, man. Look, hey, this is a big game. This is I can't remember. I think Alex Stevens was talking about on the Roundtable show the last time both teams have been good and relevant was your Super Bowl year in 2012 when we had RG3 and we played you guys in that game when
Haloi Nata Cameron fired. Yeah.
I mean, Haloi Nata killed our chances for future. By destroying that leg, but that was last time.
Shouldn't have started RG3, but then the playoffs.
Oh, he wasn't hurt. Was he hurt at that point?
No, that's the game. His leg was up there and Nada hit it.
Man,
I'm talking about in the postseason.
Yeah.
He didn't play Seattle, and yeah.
Yes, we were aware of the revisionist history. Yes.
Oh yeah. So, but look, we got to move on. We got to figure out what is going to happen in this game, the Battle of I-95, with our keys. Get it out. Wait. Keys. The victory. Where we go around and give each 2 keys to victory in this game. Nathan, you are our guest. What is your first key for Ravens victory?
I'm actually kind of curious to see how you guys offensively stack up against the 19th best defense against the pass. Offense. I'm seeing how you guys are going to take advantage of that. As you guys saw, the Cincinnati Bengals scored 38 points on us. And some of that was lack of stops, but also, too, our corners. Nate Wiggins is a rookie. Brandon Stevens, God bless him. It's just been something. And then Marlon Humphrey, he's older, so he's going to be more in the slot. But he did get a crucial interception for us. Roquan Smith leads the team in tackles. Our front four, I think, has been really successful this year. So I'm curious to see how our front four is going to get to the offensive line in terms of the pass rush. My second key is
one at a time.
Yeah.
Yep. Will, what you got?
Okay, so I'm going to stay on offense, and since Nathan was kind of going that way, and I'm going to say shootout. Okay, I'm going to say take the points every time because we have scored over 30 points 2 games in a row. So we do tend to go for it on 4th down. I'm going to say situationally, 3 points is better than nothing. Yeah. So I want to see. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I'll be in Virginia, so I'll be able to put a little wager on this. So I might put some money down on this. Whatever the over is, I might, or the total is, I might take the over on that. And I think what's going to be fun is basically both offenses may play really well, and the fact that Washington, to kind of answer your question of what you want to see, Nate. Washington gets the ball out quickly, and they need to continue doing that. There was some times Myles Garrett had some pass rush on the left side, but Daniels got the ball out quickly, and it didn't matter. So I'm really curious to see, if the offense that has been explosive for Washington can continue going, and I'll say take as many points as you can.
I agree with that.
Yeah. For me, we got to win the turnover battle. Dan Quinn's defenses are notorious for being, great turnovers and things like that. It has not necessarily come to fruition yet for us, But we got to start winning the turnover battle. And in this type of game, it's going to be that momentum that's going to make a big difference in this game. So we're going to have to potentially force, Lamar to throw and see if we can't, play big in the secondary. We're going to need to get some turnovers in this one, man. Nate, what is your last key to victory?
My next key is how containing our rushing offense. Derrick Henry. With Derrick Henry and Lamar back there, I'm kind of curious to see how you guys will contain that, because I think that opens up everything else in the offense. Mm-hmm. So as you saw, that last play for the game-winning drive was the I formation power toss to Derrick Henry. So I'm curious how you guys will stop that. Because I think you guys, if I remember correctly, I think we're like somewhere in the top. Well, excuse me, we were like in the top 25 against rushing defense. So Cincinnati's right around that, if I remember correctly. So if they can't stop the run, I'm curious to see how Washington will make the adjustments to stop Derrick Henry. But then also too, not just Derrick Henry, but Justice Hill as well. So
yeah, absolutely. What you got, Will?
Yeah, I was going along the same lines there. Is see if you can contain Henry. Do we load the box on him? Did you know, Sean, that on Monday, Dan Quinn praised Phil Mathis for his play out there. And he says, I think we just unleashed something in him, which I was like, what? Phil Mathis? So maybe this is the game where Johnny Newton and Phil Mathis come in and play, and Allen and Payne become a defensive end. Maybe we play a whole lot less Dante Fowler and bring in the beef to try and stop this, because it's going to be about our D-line and can the linebackers fill. Is Jeremy Chin going to be playing kind of up as that Buffalo nickel, what once was, playing up near the line of scrimmage to help with Derrick Henry? The one part that I think that, if we put our corners on the island, besides Zay Flowers, the Ravens wide receivers have been suspect. I'm not, so I think this is the game where you say maybe we let them play a little bit of man, because we've got to put guys closer to the line of scrimmage.
Oh yeah. And my last one is, everybody's heard of the Ravens kicker. We got a kicker too, all right? And the Ravens kicker might be able to kick from 50, 60, but our guy won't miss under 45. So we need our kicker to have more than their kicker. I'm going to go ahead and put it there. I do it. Look, that's how I feel right now.
That's outside the box. I like that.
Come on now. Come on. Justin Tucker, who? What? Ain't nobody think about him. Austin Seibert, baby. Let's go.
Yep.
And real quick, let's give our score predictions. I'm gonna go first. I honestly think we can get this W. I think we're gonna get it 34-31. Seibert, last second field goal to win the ball game. Nathan, what you think, man?
I'm going to say 30-21 Baltimore.
I can dig it.
All right.
What you got, Will?
Baltimore Ravens 34, Washington Redskins Commanders 30.
Ooh, okay.
So we're going to go high scoring. I think the Ravens are going to get it.
I can dig it. Let's go. My guy, Nathan Snell, host of Big Nate Sports Talk, not Bro Crew Sports Talk. Oh my goodness. So much on my mind.
It's all good.
Right. Yo, Big Dog, what do you have coming up?
Yeah, so the recaps for the Commanders and the Ravens. We were victorious this past week against it was a great win. Maryland football did not play, as we had a bye week and we're getting ready for this upcoming Friday. I'm not looking forward to that matchup. But we also got to really talk about the loss to Indiana, respectfully. And then it is Game 5 of the WNBA semifinals, the Connecticut Sun versus Minnesota Lynx. Once that game is over, myself and Brendan Potts will preview the WNBA finals, and then that will transition us into the NFL season a little bit, and then get ready for college basketball. So, yeah, and that'll be my 400th episode of the podcast coming out soon. So, yeah, I just did an interview with former South Carolina Gamecocks basketball player Elena Coates. So that's already up on the channel. Please check that out. It was a great interview. Appreciate her. I have 2 interviews requested for the Maryland women's basketball team. Have a good night. So hopefully that those 2 interviews pan out. So
Nate, you should have told me. I could have given you stories. I used to officiate her in volleyball when she played at Dutch Fork.
oh, really?
I could have given you some stuff.
Yes. It was a really good interview. She's really down to earth. She currently is playing overseas in Italy. Because that's actually because it's like 6 hours ahead of us over there. So we're kind of going back and forth, email tagging. Yeah, so did the interview Sunday. So it was a great interview. Again, check it out. It's posted on YouTube, Facebook, and my Twitter. So
nice.
Okay.
Nice. I can dig it. All right, big dog. We're going to let you go. I know you're about to leave work, man. Appreciate you being able to hop on here and join us, man.
Wait. Before I forget, because you provoked me, Sean.
Oh, what?
Welcome to the Serengeti.
It's not rabbit season. It's not duck season. It's open season. The Ravens. Let's go. Let's get it. What up, Johnny?
Hey,
2 in 1 day.
appreciate
Yes,
y'all.
always. Hey, Nate, we'll
Thanks,
see you, man.
Nate.
Get home safe, bud.
Yes. Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, buddy. Shout out to our guy, Nathan Snell, joining us of Big Nate Sports Talk. Sometimes it just goes unnatural.
He does a lot, man. He covers a lot of stuff.
400th episode. Come
Yeah.
on now. And
Exactly.
he has another thing that he just joined another sports group that's actually helping him, and I'll get him to talk about it another time.
What,
but
Maryland
he's
Sports
doing
Blog?
big things, man. It's that, but there's also something else he just got into, something new.
Okay,
But,
excellent. Good deal.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
ready to
definitely.
talk to him about Terps basketball, man. We're gonna have a squad this year. You wait. You just
Okay.
wait.
All right. Yeah. I wish you were still in the ACC so we can actually
So do I.
play you. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on back.
So do I.
Come on back.
I'd love to. I hate the Big Ten.
Yeah. Yo, all right. We are going to get out of here, man. For my guy, Will Kramer, it's your boy, Sean Spencer. Washington Commanders played the Ravens. We are 4-1. Hey, win or loss, if we play like we can, I have a good feeling. I just have a good feeling.
I'm excited. It's going to be a fun game. I might have to punch Sean Tate for having a wedding at 4:00.
Right.
So I'm going to miss the entire thing. But
Tatum's. Yo,
Yeah,
man, congratulations.
yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. All right. We are out of here, but you already know how we get down. Left hand up, ladies and gentlemen. Go Commanders.
Gibbs, you got a good chance. Let me tell you something about some good fans. Back in the day, RFK was our palace. If you don't know, you need to ask about us. Think we're gonna lose? Well, I can't believe your doubters had the whole crowd screaming out. We want talent. Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders. Commanders.